Hi, Bay Area Fight fans. This is your host, Douglas Edwards, and I want to go through my picks for the World Series of Fighting New Year's Eve show that they have coming on this evening. Um, as far as the lineup, we have Marlon Moraes versus Jose Naldo Silva, Yushin Okami versus Paul Bradley, Justin Gaethje versus Luis Firmino, and John Fitch versus Jake Shields. Um, so Marlon Moraes versus Jose Naldo Silva. Not much is known about Jose Naldo Silva. Most of his career has been done in Brazil. Checking out his record, he's obviously 25-4, and we see that he's gone on a bit of a win streak here. Um, but again, it's against talent or opposition that isn't well known, um, and it's really hard to gauge the level of talent that you would see coming out of Brazil, just because they do have the opportunity to fight a lot. So this guy, from the few fights that I saw of him, he does look like a more of a kickboxer, boxer than a jiu-jitsu guy. But that's kind of playing into Marlon Moraes' wheelhouse as well. He's more of a kickboxer, boxer himself. Jose Naldo Silva is a southpaw, so that could pose a lot of problems for Marlon Moraes. Also, he is a bit lankier than Marlon Moraes, but my decision still goes for the champion, Marlon Moraes. I would say that Jose Naldo Silva is going to come out hot and heavy, but in the later rounds, the championship rounds, I think he's going to unfold, and Marlon Moraes will be able to get the KO. So Marlon Moraes, fourth round stoppage. Next fight we have Yushin Okami versus Paul Bradley. Yushin Okami hasn't been looking great these days. He fought once in in Japan, actually twice in Japan is his most previous fights and everything. He had a submission victory recently and a knockout loss to it was a rematch actually to uh, Sakai, Ryuta Sakai, I believe is the guy's name. Um, Paul Bradley hasn't fought in almost a year, about 11 months. So he's going to have a bit of rust. But Yushin Okami hasn't been really looking great, and he did get a loss as well 2 fights ago. So a recent knockout loss, then a submission win for Okami. I would say that this is going to be a bit of a barn burner, and if Paul Bradley wants to win, he's going to need to come in hot and heavy soon. If not, then Yushin Okami would get the decision. This is a bit of a hard choice to choose just because Okami is a very amazing grappler, and he could easily drag it to the ground. But I don't think Paul Bradley is going to have too much ring rust because he did fight about 10 months ago. So if he's been in the gym, if he's been working, then he should be able to get, I want to say, either a decision or a knockout win late, but I'm leaning more decision for Paul Bradley. That's kind of my dark horse choice for this evening. I don't think Okami's going to be able to keep the shorter, stockier Paul Bradley off of him. And Paul Bradley could get the KO, but I'm saying decision. It's probably gonna be a sloppy fight. Then we have John Fitch versus Jake Shields. Um, Jake hasn't fought in a little over a year, maybe 15 to 16 months. So he's going to be pretty rusty. John Fitch is a bit more fresh. I wish this fight would have happened a few years ago. It would have been a great fight. I do think this is going to be a stand-up, a kickboxing match for 5 rounds. I'm leaning towards John Fitch just because he's a bit more fresh, but I'm also not taking anything away from Jake Shields because if Jake can get it to the ground, he'll probably control John Fitch on the ground. I doubt he submits him. Um, this is another hard choice. It's pretty even, but I will say that just because John Fitch is a bit fresher, and this is going to be a kickboxing match, I would say John Fitch by decision. And the main fight of the night, we have Justin Gaethje versus Luis Firmino. I'm pretty sure Firmino is a last minute choice. and he actually came off of a submission loss to Brian Foster. Um, that was his last fight. I don't think that Luis Firmino is going to be able to do anything with Justin Gaethje. Justin's kind of on a tear, and Luis is not in his class. I say a TKO stoppage for Justin Gaethje, kind of early, um, maybe third round, second, third round KO. So those are my picks for World Series of Fighting, their New Year's Eve uh, mega show happening in New York City. Um, yeah, tune in tonight. Take care, guys.